Hyder, you'll never guess what I found today down by the... What happened? What do you mean you tried jumping into it? What could have possibly demented you to do that? Okay. Well, the good news is that I just found a replacement. I'm gonna go set this up in the other room. Jumped into the TV, what on earth? Now all I gotta do is plug it in and... Huh? What is this? It's the same on every input. No matter what I turn it to, it's just the Pokemon channel. Maybe I don't need television that bad. Umbrella, a studio whose entire purpose in existence was to make Pokemon spin-offs. At least some people are going to be familiar with their WiiWare titles, My Pokemon Ranch and Pokemon Rumble. Haven't heard of those somehow? Don't worry, you're not going to know anything else they've done either. Unless, of course, you've heard of one small little N64 title by the name of Hey You Pikachu. This is probably the one title from Umbrella that I'd wager most people are familiar with, even if they don't realize it. It's an adventure game where you talk to Pikachu using the N64 microphone, and it sucks. I'm not going to bother to get too deep into this one. Plenty of people have already spent ages talking about how the mic doesn't work, and Pikachu doesn't listen regardless, and that it can create nightmares. Yeah, Umbrella didn't succeed on that one at all. But they did try again. 5 years after Pokemon's first cartridge-based disaster, second cartridge-based disaster, Umbrella released Pokemon Channel for the GameCube. Ditching the microphone aspect of Hey You Pikachu, Pokemon Channel was an attempt to refine the original to something more functional. Did this game warrant even trying to be a sequel to a game most people consider to be garbage? Probably not, but screw it. I absolutely love Pokemon, and thanks to a certain somebody, this is the only thing I can play right now anyway. So let's get this show on the seas. Seeing as it just makes sense to begin with it, we'll start with the story. You watch TV with Pikachu. Oh, I'm sorry, were you expecting a little more? No, that's basically it. Okay, fine. So the story actually begins with Pikachu and his buddies watching as Professor Oak's Magnemites deliver you a television. After naming yourself something a little more fitting than Seth and watching some copyrighted anime I definitely can't show you, the Pikachu arrives at your doorstep just begging to watch TV with you. This excites Professor Oak, as the purpose of the Pokemon channel is to make TV content for Pokemon. And now, for the next real-world week, you come back every day to watch more new channels and interact with the Pokemon of Mintail Town, culminating in you and Pikachu, along with the mythical Pokemon Jirachi, watching the entirety of Pichu Brothers Under the Stars. And that really just about covers it? I guess there's the fact that over the course of the week, the wild Pikachu grows to enjoy being with you more and more, and on the 5th day, there's an event where you have to get the last part of the Pichu Bros anime back due to a Magnemite dropping it, but that's it. You watch TV, you talk to Pokemon to get trading cards from them, and you watch more TV. I'm not terribly bothered by the lack of a plot to a game called Pokemon Channel, but to say there's nothing here is probably being generous. Amusingly, I do still have a nitpick though. Professor Oak states on day 1 that the purpose of Pokemon Channel is to create content for Pokemon to enjoy watching. So why am I, some random kid, your very first tester for the network? I very clearly don't own a Pokemon. It's obviously not that it's some violation against Pokemon rights either, since Oak is absolutely down to have some random Pikachu watch with you. Does this game mean to tell me a Pokemon professor, a guy who studies Pokemon for a living, has no Pokemon to make watch TV, and some kid is the best choice? Ugh, God, Hyder, this illogical premise is really making me lose my trust in this game from a series where children are freely given the power of gods. Next you're gonna tell me they don't even make these games for adults. So, how are those channels anyway? This is Pokemon Channel after all. The game bases its entire existence around TV. Surely they're worth tuning into? Well, yes and no. There are 13 channels in the US version, we'll touch on that later, and each of them serve a unique purpose. You've got your basic channels, quizzes, shopping, workouts, the weather, the news. There are some out there channels like Chansey's Fortune Cookie, Smeargle Art Study, and Chum Chum Ranking, and then there's just channels that I don't even understand the purpose of, like Mareep Farm, where you literally count Mareep as they jump by, an egg hatching channel where you guess what's inside of the egg and then wait for it to hatch, and Odd One Out, where you guess if there's going to be an even or odd number of oddish. Ooh, what a perplexing mystery. There's also the Report channel, the place you go to save the game and progress the story, and finally the Pichu Bros special. I would be showing you clips of it right now instead of random pictures of the Pichu brothers, but copyright is a fickle mistress, so all I can really say about it is it's charming. It's not much more complex than your average episode of the anime from that time period, but the adventure is cute and Meowth getting to shine is nice, and since the special is only technically available through this game, it means there's something here worth the purchase. Besides Pichu Bros though, the only ones that are of any real value are the ones you start with on day one. The news channel gives you an idea of what Pokemon are out to get nice cards from, the shopping channel gives you access to more areas of the world, more nice cards, or decent cosmetics, and the quiz channel gives you the money to use the shopping channel, and that's about it really. It's also incredibly slow to get to the parts where you give answers. The other 8 channels are basically just bonus oddities, like sure, maybe you can get something out of them, but basically none of them are useful for anything other than making Pikachu do things like this. And honestly, bonus oddities is probably the best way to define Pokemon channel. This entire game is so surface level that I'm surprised it has a third dimension. The channels are all basic and almost always the same thing every time. When channels do change it up, like the shopping channel, it's most likely just for cosmetic differences, like an extra poster or a different TV, which doesn't even provide secret channels or anything, it's just a change of looks. Going outside of your room to interact with other Pokemon, you'll get asked a basic question about them, and after answering correctly you get an ice card, but that's just a holographic trading card of the Pokemon you talk to, and as you might have guessed, gives you essentially nothing. You can find a Pokemon Mini under your bed, which was a real-world handheld that had a few different Pokemon-themed games made for it. That's cool. I bet you can guess how intricate a game made for a handheld the size of a Game Boy cartridge is. There's just nothing here. You watch meaningless TV shows, talk to meaningless Pokemon, buy meaningless products to fill the meaningless void in your life as your split personality Professor Oak talks in your head. Because my TV isn't on, how can I hear you? Sure, the problem from Hey You Pikachu is solved. There's no microphone anymore, you just gotta tap on something for Pikachu to interact with it, that's great. But they didn't replace it with anything actually interactive. You have so little input on anything that isn't changing the channel or pressing a button on the TV screen, that even keeping in mind this game is for small children, what is there for them in this? A distraction that has the pace of a glacier? This is the progenitor to people giving their kids tablets so they don't have to watch them. That's Pokemon Channel. Child neglect the game. Just lovely. And yet, I didn't hate my time with this game? Yeah, sure, it's all pointless fluff, but there is something that makes this game oddly charming. I see some similarities here. This little alcoholic here is the real main attraction. In a game so sterile and empty, this Pikachu manages to breathe life into it. Anytime you're not full screen on the TV, he's doing some nonsense that you get to witness. He's working out, he's rummaging through garbage, hell, he's beating up everything around him, including himself. I remember as I was wrapping up the first day, I went to save some data, and then out of nowhere, this little knucklehead blew up my damn TV, and that's when I knew I had to see more. I'm not here for quiz shows where they can't tell this is a Teddiursa, I'm here for the psychotic rat. And sure enough, that was it. This stupid idiot kept me going. His antics, getting to name him, saving the day from evil ghosts, he was so much more entertaining than the rest of the game that it really struck me what the issue here is. Hey You Pikachu was in essence a minigame compilation that didn't work because Pikachu didn't respond to your input. Its sequel is a game that gets the input problem and the minigame compilation aspect. And so what are you left with? Pikachu. The idea of playing minigames with this little moron is still good, but instead we're just left with what basically amounts to a test room with Pikachu and friends. In my research, I found this game frequently called quickly developed, however I couldn't find an actual source on that. I definitely believe it though. You could easily convince me this game was made in less than a year and that a lot of actual content had to be left behind. And if that's true, it's a shame, because there clearly feels like there should be more. Unique hubs where you can do minigames with Pikachu, that concept is good. But that's not what we got, unfortunately. We got a game that almost plays itself to the end, only really stopping you from beating it in 4 hours by locking more content behind real-world time like Animal Crossing. And you know what makes it worse? The US version, the one I'm playing, is missing content. The original Japanese release came with a bonus disc that added extra channels, which were mostly ads save for a fireworks show and a small history of the Pokemon movies up to that point, but that's not the thing I care about, oh no. You remember how I said you end the game by watching Pichu Bros with Jirachi? Well, in the PAL version only, you could actually receive this Jirachi by transferring it to a copy of Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire. Sure, all this really means is that the game went from a pointless $50 adventure to a 40 quid Jirachi farm, but why is it even like this?
Jirachi is one of those Pokemon you can pretty much only get in game stores and never in-game.
So they included in the endings of the US and Japanese versions is nothing more than a tease? Surely this can't just be some sort of apology because the PAL version released half a year later than the other versions. The better apology would have been leaving it unreleased. Ugh, and the soundtrack is pretty good actually. Yeah, no, the soundtrack's actually very pleasant.
The composer on this game is Miki Obata. He's pretty much just done work for Umbrella Games, but he also was one of the game's writers and planners.
He worked his ass off for this one. Not every song's like something to listen to after you turn the game off, but there's nothing here that's hard to get through, and a lot of stuff that's genuinely good. The fitness, weather, relaxation, and quiz channels are all pretty good tracks. Especially the fitness one. Ah, yeah. Hey, that shopping channel song is fantastic. I sure do hope that I can find a version of it to listen to without Pokemon noises over top of it that also doesn't stutter. Surely the only good rip of it has like at least 100 views when I find it and doesn't take me ages to find. That would be terrible. The songs for your room in the areas of Mintail Town are also really good. Most of them are more atmospheric, but all the same are wonderful listens. The song for your room is probably my absolute favorite one, but it doesn't fit at all. I'm just trying to watch TV with my little buddy. Why is it so sad? Also, I don't know where else to stick this, but the way the Pikachu learns how to sing the commercial break song over the week is adorable, and when he finally nails it, it warms my heart. And that's Pokemon Channel in totality. Cute anime special, funny Pikachu, good music, and otherwise bare bones disappointment. Even though I didn't have a bad time, I can't recommend this in good faith. There's just not enough here to justify playing it. Now, was there a way to fix this? Based on what's here and their last effort, it's hard to say, really. There is the floor of a game here. A prototype of what I feel could have been a competent minigame collection. Imagine if there were actually minigames to play to receive nice cards from Pokemon instead of just answering a random question. Imagine then if the TV's use was to help you with the minigames instead of containing a boatload of filler garbage. Imagine if Jirachi served any purpose besides just randomly showing up at the end. Like maybe you wished for a friend before the game started, and Jirachi comes back after you save the day to show you that the little yellow dude beside you is your best friend in the world. Even if he gets on your nerves or breaks your TV, he'll always be there for you, and you're just happy to have him and you know that nothing's gonna tear that bond apart. Just anything at all would have been wonderful. Sadly, Pokemon Channel is nothing more than a few hours of mediocrity. This game was probably doomed from the start, being rushed out the door as quickly as possible to meet a deadline. But sadly, we'll never see a better version of this game. Instead, the lingering sentiments of Pokemon Channel are going to be nothing more than a good reminder to cut the cable. Well, I guess that'll have to do it. What do you think, Hyder? Hyder, you've fixed the TV? That's incredible. I don't know what I would do without you, man.
Thank you so much. I should never have yelled at you earlier.
Well, I'm gonna go put that TV in the attic. I think we're just about done with that game forever. Catch you next time, everybody.
Be the Solomon, be the Solomon man.
Thanks for watching this episode of AxelPort. If you liked it, why not leave a like? I've got one other video right now about Super Mario RPG, which you can check out right there. I'll be back soon with the latest catch, but until then, take care.